How's it, everybody? My name's Stefan and this is Dani, and we are going to go through a nice easy flowing session today, or we might throw in one or two intermediate moves. Let's see how we go. Okay, so we're going to start with your feet underneath your hips for me. We're going to stand up nice and tall, a slight bend in the knees so that the spine can move. We're going to tuck the chin to the chest for me, and we're going to slowly articulate that spine down and towards the ground. Let your fingertips start reaching towards the floor. Let the head hang as if someone's pulling you down towards the ground. You're going to take a nice deep inhale here. And then on the exhale, you're going to keep your hips still. You're going to tuck your tail underneath you, and you're going to slowly unravel the spine all the way back up. And we are standing up nice and tall, still drawing in the abdominals. Let's do one more. Tuck the chin to the chest for me. And let's slowly roll that spine down, reaching those fingertips long. Let the head hang. Take a nice deep inhale there. And we're going to slowly unravel the spine, tucking the tail underneath you. And we're going to start to roll all the way up. And we're going to finish nice and tall at the top. Nice work. Okay, from there we're going to make our way onto our mat, seated on your mat for me. So about halfway down on your mat, your feet are planted on the floor. And then from here we're going to reach the arms out in front of us, shoulder height. We're going to relax the shoulders. We're going to start and finish with a flat back here. And then from there, we're going to sink into your lower spine, slowly starting to roll your spine down towards the ground. Press your feet into the floor. And then from there, we're going to roll back up the other way. And then we start to flatten out into that extension at the top. And we'll go again. We're sinking into the lower spine, drawing the abdominals in. And just going a little bit further if you feel comfortable. Otherwise, you just go to where you feel that you can reach, and then we're going to come back up the other way and flatten out the back at the top. And we're going to sink, drawing in the abdominals, slowly rolling down, pressing the feet firmly into the floor. And then as you come back up, try keep pressing those feet down into the ground, rolling up, and then we flatten out the back at the top. Let's do two more. You're going to sink into your lower spine for me, rolling down, drawing in with the abdominals. And then you're going to come back up the other way for me, rolling up. And then you're going to finish with that nice extension at the top into that flat back. And let's do one more. You're going to sink into the lower spine for me. And then from here, you're going to carry on rolling down all the way. Start to press your hands into the ground next to you and rest your head on the mat. Slide your feet slightly closer towards you. And we're going to start and finish with this nice neutral pelvis. You're going to take a breath here. And then on the exhale, you're going to tuck the tail like a naughty dog, and we're going to start to lift the hips up towards the ceiling, keeping the tuck in the tail. We hold it here for a breath. We hold the abdominals in, and then we slowly unravel that spine all the way down, vertebra for vertebra, and we finish in neutral. Good work. We take a breath first, and we exhale, tucking the tail, and we start to roll the hips up towards the ceiling. We hold it there for a breath, and we slowly unravel the knees, stay in line with the ankles so they're not flopping out to the side, and we're going to come all the way back to our neutral. We take a breath there, and we'll exhale to tuck the tail, and we articulate the spine up off the mat, peeling yourself off the mat one vertebra at a time. We hold it there for a breath. And then we're going to slowly unravel that spine, vertebra for vertebra, all the way down, relaxing the neck and shoulders, and we'll finish in neutral. Let's do two more. And we're going to tuck the tail on the exhale, and we lift, holding it there for a breath. And we slowly unravel, pressing those feet into the ground, almost feeling like you're pulling your heels towards your bum as you move to let the hamstrings work a bit harder. And last one, we'll tuck the tail, and we're going to slowly roll those hips up towards the ceiling, keeping the tuck in the tail. Good. We hold it here. Just a little bit of a challenge now. We're going to lift the right leg up into tabletop for me. Keep the hips nice and square, and we're going to lower the leg just to tap the toe, and we lift. And we keep moving here, keeping these hips nice and stable, and we're going to lower, and we lift. And we move, and back, and for 2, and lift, and last one, and we lift, and we lower all the way down. Slowly unravel your spine all the way, all the way, all the way. Come back to your neutral pelvis. Just take 2 breaths here. And one more. And then from there, we're going to take a breath to prepare. And then on the exhale, we tuck the tail and we start to roll those hips up towards the ceiling, keeping the tuck. We lift the left leg to tabletop and we lower, tap the toe, and we lift. And we move, keeping the hips high, and we lift. And we lower, and back. Nice work. And for 3, and lift. And for 2, and back. And last one, and lift. And let's lower the left foot onto the floor, and we're going to slowly unravel that spine all the way down, and we're going to finish in neutral. Good work. Okay, from here we're going to bring the right leg back up into a tabletop position for me. Keep the left leg bent, and you're going to straighten the right leg towards the ceiling. We're going to point the foot here, and we're going to lower that leg towards the floor just to hover. We flex the foot and we bring it back up to our 90 degrees. We point and lower, flex and lift, point and drop, flex and lift. Keep drawing in the abdominals. We lower the leg and we lift, keeping the stability in the pelvis. We lower and we lift. Good, nice control. We lower and we lift. And last one, we're going to lower and we'll lift. We'll point the foot here, bend the leg to tabletop, and we'll lower the right foot onto the floor. Keep the right leg bent. We'll bring the left leg up into tabletop. Now we'll straighten towards the ceiling. We point the foot and we'll lower, and we'll flex and lift. And we lower, again keeping the abdominals drawn in. We lift and we point and lower, flex and up. Last 2, we point and lower, flex and lift. And last one, we point and drop, flex and up. We point the foot, bend the leg to tabletop, and we lower the foot onto the floor for me. And then from there, we'll just move the arms out into a T position. Palms are facing up. We'll bring the right leg to tabletop for me again, and then the left leg to tabletop. Legs are squashed together here, and we'll drop the legs over to the right, keeping the knees stuck on each other, and we're going to come back to center, and we're going to go over to the other side, and we'll pull it back, keeping the shoulders down as we move, and we move over to the right, keeping this nice stability as you move, and we bring it back, and we move over to the left, and we bring it back, and let's go over to the right, and we pull it back to center. And last one, we go over to the left, and we're going to pull it back to center. We're going to keep the legs in tabletop here. We're going to move the arms up and overhead. Palms are facing up towards the ceiling. Now from there, we're going to move the arms to 90 degrees. The head and chest will start to lift, and we're going to bring the arms through just to hover next to you by your side. And let's lower back down. Arms reach up and overhead, nice control. And we move arms, head and chest. We're going to come through just to hover. And we lower back down, taking those arms overhead. 2 more like this. We're going to move arms, head and chest. And we'll lower, taking those arms up and overhead. And last one, we're going to move arms, head and chest. Now we're going to stay here for me. We're going to start to pulse the arms, keep the chest nice and high. If you're starting to feel it in the neck, maybe just take one hand behind the head. Otherwise, we keep pulsing. Make sure we're breathing in this position. And if you want to, you can straighten your legs out on a 45-degree angle. Otherwise, you just keep them in your tabletop position. We keep pulsing here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the head and chest and hug the knees into the chest here for me. Just maybe rock from side to side. Just take a few breaths. Let those abdominals recover. And then from there, we're going to slowly drop the feet onto the floor for me, and we're going to straighten the legs all the way out onto your mat. Okay, so we're going to go into some roll-ups. If you do struggle with roll-ups, you can just do those half roll-backs, which we did right in the beginning of the session, where you're rolling halfway down and up. Otherwise, try your full roll-up. We're going to take the arms up and overhead for me. Palms are facing one another, and the legs are squashed together. The toes are pointed. And we're going to move the arms towards the ceiling here. Then we start to lift the head and chest, and we're going to roll the spine up into our seated position. And then you're going to keep this nice rounded spine here for me. You're going to take a breath, and then we're going to slowly unravel, keeping that C curve, keeping the arms low as you move. And when the tips of the shoulders touch, we'll start to take the arms up and overhead. Nice control. And we'll move the arms to the ceiling. The head and chest will lift, and we're going to roll the spine up. Good, we hold it here for a breath, and we're going to slowly roll the spine down, and then we'll take the arms up and overhead. Nice work. Let's do 2 more. We're going to move the arms, the head and chest, and we're going to roll the spine up, draw the abdominals in, keep the stability. We hold it here, and we slowly unravel the spine, nice and slow, all the way down. And when the tips of the shoulders touch, we take the arms up and over. And 1 more, we're going to move the arms, head and chest, and we roll that spine all the way up into seated. Nice work. We're going to stay seated here for me. You start to bend the legs for me. And then you're going to grab onto the back of the thighs for me. And we're going to do a modified open leg rocker today. So we're going to start and finish with a nice flat back. We're going to just lift the feet just off the ground for me. And then we're going to, from here, you're going to sink into your lower spine. You're going to roll onto the shoulders. The legs will just follow you as you roll back. And we're going to come back up, and we flatten out the back at the top. Just a bit more momentum here. We're going to sink into the lower spine. We roll, and we come back up and flatten out the back. Good work. And we're going to sink into that lower spine. And we come back up and flatten out there. And we're going to sink, and we roll back. And we come up and flatten out. There we go. 3 more. Let's sink and roll back. And we come up, flatten out. And last 2, we roll. And last 1. Flatten out the back there, and we're going to plant the feet on the floor. Nice work, everybody. Nice work, Dani. Okay, then from there, we're just going to move the hands behind you, and we're going to turn the fingers either to face forward or to the side. We're going to just take the feet out slightly further away from you than you think they should be, keeping that back nice and flat. Now from here, we're going to start to lift the hips up towards the ceiling for me. And we're just lifting into a bridge position here. And we're going to lower back down, bum onto the mat. And we'll lift the hips up again for me, pushing the hips high, opening up the chest. And we're going to lower back down, bum onto the mat. And we're going to lift the hips up, just opening up that chest a little bit more. And we're going to lower back down, and 3 more like this. We're going to lift those hips nice and high, and we lower back down. Good, last 2, and we'll lift the hips up, and we lower back down. And last 1, let's lift the hips nice and high, and we're going to lower back down all the way. You're going to straighten your legs out on your mat, and you're just going to reach for your toes, just stretching out for those hamstrings, just trying to drop the torso down onto the thighs, and just breathing deeply here in this stretch, in this recovery position. Let's hold it here for another 2 breaths. And last 1. And then from there, we're going to unravel your spine. We're going to make our way into a 4-point kneeling position. So you'll just spin around into 4-point kneeling. So knees are underneath the hips and hands are underneath the shoulders. Okay, now we're just pressing ourselves into the ground so that the shoulders stay wide, but you're still keeping the shoulders out of the ears for me. Staying with this nice neutral spine, you're going to take your right leg back and plant your toes, and then we're going to take the left leg back and plant the toes. We're just going to stay in this nice high plank or this front support position. So hard work just to hold it here. You're drawing the abdominals in, and we're just maintaining this nice position with the body. Breathing nice and deeply. Don't hold the breath in this position. Good work. Let's hold it for 2 breaths. And 1 more. And then from there, we're going to lower the knees down to the ground. And we'll push back into a prayer stretch all the way back. Bum onto the heels and arms just reaching out in front of you. And 1 more breath in this rest position. And we're going to rock forward again for me into your 4-point kneeling. And we're going to go again. We're going to take the right leg back. Plant the toes, left leg back, plant the toes. We're holding this front support position. Just going to add on a little bit now. So we're going to keep in this front support, staying in this nice high plank position. Keep breathing, keep drawing the abdominals in. And now from here, I want you to push yourself back into a down dog. So you're going to lift the hips up, press the ground away from you, and try and drive those heels down to the ground. Good work. Hold this position for me. And from here, we're going to rock forward into our high plank or into our front support position again. Keep holding it. Come in and out of this as you need to. Otherwise, try hold on as long as you can. And last time, let's push back into our down dog. Flatten out the back and drive those heels down. And then let's rock forward into our push-up or our high plank position. You're holding it here for me, breathing nice and deeply. And our last little challenge, as slowly as you can, you're going to lower yourself down to the ground, bend the elbows, and you're going to lower the chest down to the ground as slowly as you can. Try not to drop the knees if you can. And then we lower all the way down onto your mat. Good work. And we're going to finish off with a little extension here. We're going to bring the hands around so that they're pressing into your thighs. Okay, so palms of the hands are pressing into the thighs. The face is hovering just off the ground. And then from here, we're going to keep the legs together. We'll lift the head and chest, keeping this neck nice and long. And we're pressing the hands into the thighs. And we'll lower back down just to hover. Good work. And we'll lift head and chest again. And we'll lower back down. Good control. And we'll lift head and chest, keeping that neck in line with the spine. And we'll lower. We'll do 3 more here. We lift head and chest, work hard into the arms for me. And we lower. And last 2, we lift head and chest, press the hands into the thighs. And we lower. And last one, we lift head and chest, press the arms firmly into the sides. And we'll lower all the way down. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders and let's push back into a prayer stretch all the way back. Bum onto the heels and just breathe nice and deeply in this position. Just let that back relax. Keep the bum on the heels as much as you can. And let's hold it here for 1 more breath. And then from there, we're slowly going to unravel the spine. We're going to come up into a kneeling position, and then we're going to slowly make our way up into a standing position. Just watch out for the head rush. So just make your way up into standing. Feet will stay underneath the hips again. Slight bend in the knees. We're going to take a nice deep inhale here. And then on the exhale, we're going to tuck the chin. And we're going to slowly roll that spine down towards the ground. Should be feeling a little bit looser now. Let the head hang. We take a nice deep inhale there. And we're going to exhale to slowly unravel the spine, keeping the hips still as we move. And we lift all the way into standing. Good. And 1 more like this. And we'll tuck the chin. and we'll slowly roll that spine down and towards the ground, reaching away. Good, we'll take a nice deep inhale here, and we'll slowly unravel that spine all the way up into standing. Okay, good work everybody, well done.